Hey guys, welcome to the third episode of LLL Roster Rundown 2018 NALCS Spring Edition. Today we have CLG. We're going to take a look at their 2018 roster. It's built with teamwork and friendship. CLG broke their championship drought in 2015 summer, and they continued their success all the way into 2016 spring with back-to-back championships, and they even made finals in the MSI of that year. But in 2017, they didn't find any kind of success. Hell, they even missed Worlds. This year, they parted ways with one of their core franchise players, Aphromoo, and they added Biofrost, formerly of TSM, and Reignover, formerly of Immortals, Fnatic, and Team Liquid. One thing that's really exciting about franchising and off-season this year, teams are really starting to show their identity with the decisions they make and the values they uphold. If you look at some of the most successful names in traditional sports, they have a very strong identity, or their brand, or their own ways of doing things. Patriots from NFL are very professional and business-like. They let go of players early and they sign on players cheap from other orgs and get the best out of them. You have Lakers from NBA. They're very stylish. They're big headlines. They're about showtime. They had one of the biggest stars in basketball history under their orgs. Magic, Shaq, Kobe. So league teams in the past have been very limited in terms of what kind of choice they can have over picking players. With the NA pool of players being very shallow, and also relegation being a huge threat to the very existence of these orgs, most teams just recycled old NA talent and got Korean imports and used them more like mercenaries than actually part of the team. But with franchising and the removal of relegations, teams can be more selective, and they no longer have to pick players only based on their skill because of the threat of relegations, but they can be more selective regarding the values of these certain players, or choosing to really invest into them and grow them. For CLG, they've always done that even before franchising, letting go of top level NA talent when they thought they didn't fit their values, or they didn't just fit with the team. They let go of Pobelter, Doublelift, Aphromoo, Dardoch. They've been very true to their values. If you go to the CLG website and go to their about, you can find this quote: "We take pride in creating a culture where nothing is primary over attitude." This isn't some bullshit they preach. This isn't some Ember, better humans make better players bullshit. It's something that they've consistently upheld as an org when there were hard decisions to be made. Mad props to them. So with that said, what do I actually think of the roster? I think it's the weakest roster on paper of the 4 teams I'm reviewing. It's a roster with very little firepower. Traditionally, CLG has had a very strong bot lane ever since the Chaucer Doublelift days, and Aphromoo came in, and then Stixxay came in, and playing hyper carries, focus comps, that's been their bread and butter. Stixxay did a great job of feeling Doublelift shoes when he left, but this duo of Stixxay Biofrost has me really uninspired. But the addition of Reignover is a very welcome one. They've been struggling with jungle since Xmithy slumped and then he left, and both Dardoch and Omar were nowhere near close to being long-term solutions. This is a team with very clear strengths and very clear weaknesses. Let me educate you. One of their core strengths is cohesiveness. All the players on this team know how to work together as a group. They're all players that's been talked about as easy to work with and being great teammates. It's going to be a very cohesive, very well-functioning team. And another part of their strength is in certain split push situations. CLG kept their solos from 2017, and both have shown to be very good and proficient in 1-3-1 situations. Double TP solo playing 1-3-1 style is something CLG has loved and always excelled at, and it's something I'd imagine they still find a lot of success with. And lastly, one of the biggest strengths of this team, which I feel like is totally underrated, is Tony, or Zeke Slaw, their head coach. A lot of CLG's past success has not only come from talented players, but from very intelligent, smart level 1s, and well thought out drafts and adaptations, and great cohesion from the team. Tony's been a core reason for their success, and with a roster that's very moldable and easy to work with, it's a part of CLG's team that can't be downplayed at all. As much as we talked about their strengths, they have some huge weaknesses that we need to cover. Early game. CLG's past roster has had some of the worst early game showing for a top tier team, and the addition of Biofrost, who's never been a very dominant or the best laner, and Reignover, a player that snowballs lead for a strong solo laner, has me worried for their early game. These players have shown huge ups and downs also. Every single player on this team has had championship pedigree, but for CLG players and Reignover, 2017 was some of the most uncharacteristically bad showings from all of them. I do think they're great players, but their last year's report cards has me pretty worried, especially with the other top teams upgrading their rosters and beefing up. A lack of a clear leader inside of a game. So with the loss of Aphromoo on CLG, not did you only lose a very strong mechanical player, but you lost an emotional leader and a shot caller. I don't have that much inside information about how CLG operates, but judging from just some of the interviews and mic checks and some of the things I hear around the scene, I imagine Aphro played a huge role in terms of shot calling and being an emotional leader. And he left really big shoes to fill, and Biofrost and Reignover, the two additions, aren't really primary shot callers or emotional leaders. So CLG is going to have a huge hole that they need to try to fix. So CLG's key player is Dragon Boy Huhi. Huhi is going to make or break CLG's roster this year. For a lot of the problems that CLG might face, a strong performance from Huhi can stabilize a lot of these. Weak early game from the side lanes can be carried through with strong laning from mid, and Hui's been performing very well. And if he can continue that success, he can open up Reignover also to play more aggressive and show more of what he looked like back on Fnatic and Immortals, not the kind of the shitty Reignover we saw on TL. Hui was the best player from CLG last year. His pocket picks such as Aurelion Sol and Vel'Koz drew a lot of bans and made draft really easy for CLG, and his performance kept the team relevant despite the shit show that came with trying to integrate Dardoch and having to switch in Omar in the final stretch. If he can repeat the same level of performance from 2017, CLG just might have a shot at winning it all again. Golden Age. Closing thoughts. It was really interesting watching a lot of the off-season moves for the other teams while trying to put together a roster myself. CLG has decided what kind of team they want to be, what kind of values they want to uphold, and what kind of players they want to pick up, and they found a lot of success with it. I personally have doubts about this roster and how well it will do, but CLG has always over-delivered. Anytime you underestimate them, that's where I feel like they've delivered the most. The saying, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, has always been true for CLG, and I really hope they do deliver. They're one of the core franchises of NALCS, and seeing them do badly would be really disappointing in the inaugural franchise split. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. I will reply to you, as long as you don't troll me or say mean things about my list. I will reply to you. If this video can get 100k likes, I'll do a new one on TSM. But even if it doesn't get 100k likes, I'll do a new one on TSM anyways, and I probably won't get 100k likes, but let's shoot for those 100k likes, guys. Logan Paul dap. Oh my god. Anyways, last thing, I'm not crazy, I'm just Loco. Peace. Yo guys, I see you're still watching the video here. If you press this button up here, it'll subscribe you to me, and you'll get a notification anytime I post new videos. And if you want to check out some other videos I've done, how about you press the video right here, okay? Press this. Press, click.